Hey, seventh graders. So today's lesson is 2.2 metabolism. In our 2.1 metabolism lesson, we really started to get a look at all those rules of the digestive system, the circulatory system, and the respiratory system. Obviously, every system in the body is important, but the reason we're focusing on those three systems is that when we're talking about metabolism and energy production, those three systems seem to be the most important for us to deliver the molecules that we need to establish all the energy and the glucose and all that stuff, which we'll get into in chapter 3. But for today's learning targets, I can explain 4 medical conditions and describe how amino acids, glucose, and oxygen may vary in the body of a human with one of these conditions. So we haven't talked about Elisa in a while, and today we're really going to revisit what we talked about. So the last time we learned about Elisa, we kind of took a look at her sleep journals and her food journals and kind of compared, do you guys think she's getting normal sleep? Do you guys think she's maybe not getting the right nutrients she needs? And what we found out from looking at a couple studies is that, and then comparing them to Elisa's sleep journals, is that she's sleeping enough and she's eating the right amount of foods, the right amount of protein and starch each day. So we kind of ruled out those 2 options as why she's feeling ill. So today we're going to look at 4 different options again. Okay, but first let's look at activity 1. You guys are going to open your OneNote, add system, digestive system, respiratory system, and circulatory system to your vocab page. Again, you guys should be all very well aware about what these mean. So a system is a set of interacting parts forming a whole. But obviously when we're talking system, we're talking about all the different organs that make up each system of the body, like the digestive, respiratory, and circulatory system. Digestive system, you guys know, consists of things like your mouth, your esophagus, your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine, even things like your pancreas and your liver are all kind of part of that system in a sense as well. So the body system that takes in food and breaks it down for absorption in the cells. Okay, respiratory system, we obviously have our mouth, our nose, we have our trachea, larynx, pharynx, all that jazz down into our bronchial tubes, our bronchi, all that stuff, and into our lungs. Okay, and then finally, and their job is to take in oxygen and then release carbon dioxide as well. So we breathe in oxygen, we use it up in the body, and then we get rid of carbon dioxide. And you guys will get to see that process of how we get carbon dioxide to begin with. And finally, the circulatory system consists of your heart and all your veins and arteries, capillaries, all that jazz. Okay, the body system that takes in and transport molecules to and from the cells of the body. So we're looking at being able to move those main molecules around, plus a lot of other things. So we move around amino acids, glucose, oxygen, carbon dioxide, but we also have a lot of other things in our body that we move around, such as hormones, okay, other food molecules, fats, those kinds of things. All right, and then you guys should have added key concept 5A and 6, so systems can work together to form a larger, more complex system. So like the human body, okay, we're definitely complex with all of our individual body systems. And key concept 6, in a functioning human body, body systems work together to deliver glucose, oxygen, and amino acid molecules to the cells in the body. All right, so for your warm-up today, you guys have this little modeling tool. So you guys need to right-click and open that link up, and you guys should come into this modeling tool here. Let's read our instructions. So your goal in this is to model your ideas about how molecules from food and air get to cells in the body. So we're going to be looking at the 3 main molecules that we get from food and air. So we obviously eat starch and break that into glucose. We eat proteins and we break those into amino acids. And then we also have oxygen that we breathe in. It's small enough to fit into our cells, into our our circulatory system, so we don't have to digest oxygen at all. It just can go right in to our blood, okay, from our lungs. So you're going to add molecules along the path they take in the body until they reach the cell. Again, we're talking about a healthy body here. Use only as many molecules as you need to show the path. Add the numbers to kind of show their steps through the body. And then if a molecule breaks down into smaller molecules, use the arrow to represent this process. If you have time, show the path molecules from air take through the body to reach the cell. So tip, a starch molecule has been placed in the mouth because starch is in food. So I'm going to go ahead and finish starch for you guys so you guys can see starch goes here. Next place it would go is into the stomach, so we'd put a number 2 on that. And then it goes into the small intestine, which we've talked about is the main spot that starch breaks down into. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of do this the best I can, keeping it in here. And starch breaks down into glucose when we digest it. Remember, that happens in the first 25 centimeters of our small intestine, which is 7 meters long. And from there, we're going to put a 3, sorry. And then from there, in the other 6.75 meters of the small intestine, we're going to be absorbing all of these small molecules that we digested. So then from there, we break down our starch into our glucose, and then our glucose can go into our bloodstream. So we're going to put a bunch of glucose in our bloodstream. So we'll mark those with a 4. Okay, and then from there, we can either go here, that could be a 5, or we could go into our cells, that could be a 5 as well. Okay, so they can go to one of two places, either here to glucose storage or here to the cells in the body. So that would show you guys the pathway of starch breaking down into glucose in the small intestine, circulating through the bloodstream, and then either going to glucose storage or cells in the body. So you guys are going to do the same thing for oxygen. Okay, and you guys obviously don't have proteins and amino acids, but you guys can kind of get the hint at what that looks like. So go ahead and do the pathway of oxygen as well. Okay. All right, and then moving on, you guys will then screenshot that model right here. Remember, if you guys are using a Chromebook, you hold down Control-Shift, and then you guys press the little square with the 2 vertical line key right above the number 6 key on your keyboard, and then you guys can click and drag. If you're in a Chromebook, hit Capture, and then come right in here and hit Control-V to paste it. Okay? Moving on, so like I mentioned in the introduction to this assignment is we talked about in one of the last lessons how much sleep and how much nutrients Elisa is getting. What we found out is she was getting normal amounts compared to teenagers her age. So here's a little message from the hospital. The hospital medical team has gone over Elisa's data, and we agree that she is getting enough sleep and eating the right kinds of food. We think that she might have a medical condition that is causing her symptoms, and we are going to run some tests on her. In the meantime, we want you to learn about several conditions that could cause these symptoms Elisa is experiencing. This will prepare you to analyze Elisa's test results. So there's 4 different conditions that we're going to look like, so 4 claims. Okay, here are some claims that we think Elisa could have. So Elisa is feeling tired because she has diabetes. Elisa is feeling tired because she has anemia. And Elisa is feeling tired because she has an injury to her pancreas, or Elisa is feeling tired because she has asthma. So you've probably heard about most of these conditions. You guys might maybe know someone who has something like diabetes or asthma, or maybe you guys have that yourself and really know a lot about it. I would encourage you guys in that situation to pick something that you guys don't know a lot about. Okay, so that's going to move us on to our next activity is a little read. So you guys, we're going to right click and open up your reading set, and you guys will come into the introduction. With every breath and every bite of food, the human body takes in millions of molecules. These molecules are so small they can't be seen under a common microscope, but the body can't live without them. How can something so tiny be so important to the health of the whole body? When everything works properly, the body gets certain molecules from food and from air. The molecules enter the cells of the body and provide everything the cells need to be healthy. Healthy cells make up healthy organs, and healthy organs work together in systems to keep the body breathing, moving, thinking, and releasing energy. The relationship between molecules and health isn't a cool idea. Isn't just a cool idea. Tiny molecules can actually make a person feel better or worse, which we've learned about when we talked about microorganisms. Obviously, these things are smaller than bacteria or viruses. So you guys think about if a virus can make you sick, why can't not having the right molecules in your body make you sick as well? Okay, sometimes people get sick because their cells aren't getting the molecules they need. When this happens, we say the person has a medical condition. Doctors often look for medical conditions when a patient's symptoms don't seem to be caused by something like a bacteria or a virus. In many cases, people can manage medical conditions by taking medicine to make sure their bodies get the molecules they need. The chapters that follow tell stories of different people whose body systems don't provide their cells with everything they need. So for you guys who are working at home, I would suggest you guys read all 4. But you obviously shouldn't have to do more work than the people in class. So what we did is we broke into groups of 4, and then we split up these 4 articles. So each person in that group was reading a different article, and then they're going to be able to tell the other people in the group about their condition, so everyone kind of has some idea. With that being said, you guys will pick one of those. Again, if you're at home and you really want to know, I would read all 4 so you guys have all that information. Go ahead, choose your article, either anemia, red blood cell shortage, asthma, struggling to breathe, diabetes, glucose locked out, and injury to the pancreas, trouble digesting. So once you guys read that article, then you guys are going to answer these questions on the next 2 slides. So use your draw tool here to circle the condition you read about, either anemia, asthma, diabetes, or injury to the pancreas. Which body system or systems, so you might have to circle more than one, are affected by this condition? Again, you guys should get this information directly out of the article. Which molecules are affected by this condition? You're looking at oxygen, glucose, or amino acids. Again, you might have more than one answer there. You might just have one answer there. So circle all that apply. Okay? Describe what is going on in the body of a person with this condition that is preventing the right molecules from reaching the cells of the body. This is kind of the main one, is what's happening in their body. Okay, what's going wrong, and why is that preventing them from getting the molecules they need? Or if we're talking about Elisa, to getting the molecules she needs to make energy so she's not feeling so darn tired all the time. Okay, finally, you guys are gonna do a little modeling tool to represent what your body looks like with this, you're gonna observe it in the sim. So you guys are gonna open up this sim link here. It's gonna take you guys into the sim. Unless you're using an iPad, select no. And then on the left in the toolbar here, you guys will see these 4 conditions. So you guys are going to select the condition that you guys have, and you guys are gonna observe that condition. Let me exit out of these really quick. Okay, so choose the condition you read about, anemia, asthma, diabetes, or pancreas injury, and then select observe, feed and observe the body. So give them a little bit of everything just to make sure, and record your observations and questions. So what do you observe about your condition in the sim? So really think about what a healthy body has been looking like. You guys have that model we did in the beginning. What does that healthy body look like, and how is your model with this medical condition different? Okay, finally, then we're going to model that. So you guys might need to refer back to your article set that you read. You guys are going to go ahead, right-click, and open up this link right here. It's a different modeling tool than what you did in the warm-up. It looks a little bit something like this. Okay, and what you guys have here is you guys have a healthy body modeled for you guys. So you guys can kind of see where all of these things come into our body. And you guys can see maybe how they're digested, or if they're brought in through the lungs, where they might go from there. Okay, what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to tweak that model to show your guys' body condition. So your goal is to change this model of a healthy body to show what happens in a body with a medical condition. So again, you guys are going to do whatever article you read about anemia, asthma, pancreas injury, or diabetes. And you guys are going to kind of model, all right, if we don't see a lot of glucose in the cells, then obviously I'm going to go into my model and I'm going to get rid of glucose in the cells. So you guys, oops, I didn't mean to grab that oxygen. So you guys can just kind of pull those out and drop it off. Okay, once you guys are done tweaking, you guys might have more than one little thing to change like I just showed you guys. So make sure you guys are very thorough about what's happening. Okay, and change this model of a healthy body. If you need to add or remove molecules, so you might need to add some as well, from the healthy body to show how Elisa's body would change if she had this condition. A tip for you, this model is a healthy person's body. Her body is taking the molecules she needs and delivering them to her cells. Remember to look back at the article to check if your model fits with what you read about the condition. So again, please reference that article you guys read. And then finally, you guys will screenshot that here and answer it, and then answer your guys' questions for your homework. Which condition are you investigating? So again, tell me asthma, anemia, diabetes, or pancreas injury. Use your draw tool to circle your answer or highlighter. Which body system would have a problem if Elisa has the medical condition you've been investigating? So choose all that apply. So circulatory, digestive, or respiratory. And then which molecule that cells need is affected by that? Again, choose all that apply. Okay, finally, do you think Elisa might have a condition you read about? Why or why not? And what further evidence do you need to diagnose Elisa? So do we really have enough evidence, or are we just making a guess? So what might you need to actually see? Okay, finally, do your wrap up. Do you have any questions? Circle yes or no. If you have questions, type them here. If not, you can leave that blank. And 4, 3, 2, 1, how do you think you did on your assignment? You guys are all done. I hope you're having a great day and enjoyed your long break this last weekend. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.